Modern women tutorials. Ladies are responsible for sex. Guys are responsible for relationships. This is something that's really important to understand. Both people are not equally responsible for certain aspects of the male and female, dynamic, right? Since women, like I said, female gender are the ones responsible for sex, right? Let's give percentage. Females are responsible for 90% when it comes to sex. Guys are only responsible for 10%. When it comes to relationship, guys are responsible for 90% of the relationship. Ladies are responsible for 10% of the relationship. That's how that works, right? We are always, we're two sides of the same coin. Men on one side, women on the other side, right? So since we're on the different sides, there's going to be some obvious difference. So everything we do is mirror image, right? It's a mirror of things. So for us, sex is important. Money is secondary, right? So for us, it's sex over money. For you ladies, it's the reverse. It's the opposite, right? Mirror. It's money over sex, right? For us, it's respect over love. For y'all, it's love over respect, and the list goes on. So that's the thing. That's why, you know, we we be out here talking about that you ladies have to, if you don't want, a lot of the issues y'all having out here when it comes to sex, y'all have to have more control of it because y'all the ones who have the responsibility, the control, right? Your body, your choice, your responsibility, your fault. So act like it, right? Stop trying to do whatever you want sexually and then blame the guys for when things go wrong because of it. Y'all responsible for sex. Y'all literally 90% responsible. It's not a 50-50. It's not like, oh, guys do this, guys cheat. When we point out that y'all cheat and be like, oh, guys cheat too, it's like, the thing is, y'all still cheat though. Guys cheating too does not negate that you cheated. And it definitely doesn't justify you cheating. Two wrongs don't make a right. So if you think a guy cheating is wrong, then you have to also agree that a woman cheating is wrong, right? A female cheating is wrong. Because the cheating is the cheating is labeled as wrong. Doesn't matter which gender does it, it's wrong, right? And it's supposed to be treated as such. The idea of trying to be like, no, no, when a woman cheats, she has justifiable reasons. She has good reasons why she cheats. But when a guy cheats, he never has a good reason for it. He's just a piece of shit. It's like, no. When somebody cheats, they're a piece of shit. And that's it, regardless of gender. Right? Because cheating is a selfish thing, right? What caused the cheating to happen was selfishness. So gender is irrelevant when it comes to selfishness because the female gender can be selfish and the male gender can be selfish. Now, biologically, right, scientifically, logically, the female species is supposed to be more selfish than the male species because we're supposed to give, right, our resources like money, right, and you're supposed to receive, take the money. So you're supposed to be selfish. You're supposed to want a guy to do things for you, right, to give you things, right? So we give, y'all receive. So you're supposed to be selfish. And we as men are supposed to be selfless, right? Two sides of the same coin, right? In order for evil to exist, good has to exist, right? In order for the sun, for light to exist, darkness has to exist, right? It's the yin yang concept, right? Two sides of the same coin. For guys to exist, females have to exist. So with that understanding that there's two sides, right? Everything is two sides of the same coin. You have to understand that in order for for you to be selfish, the man has to be selfless, right? And vice versa. One of the issues we have in society is that when you have guys being selfish, that creates problems because chicks don't like selfish guys. right? For real, for real. Just like guys. Um, so that's the contradiction because they want a guy who's selfless because they're supposed to be selfish, right? A guy, being selfless, it's not gonna it's not really gonna match with a chick who's selfless. He's gonna appreciate it, but he's gonna feel weird. It's like, you're constantly giving me stuff. I'm not used to that because I'm used to being selfless. So I'm used to giving. That means I'm not used to receiving, right? So that's why it's important to understand those differences. What separates men from women? Because again, it goes back to the responsibility factors. Like somebody has to be more responsible for sex than the other. There's no 50-50, right? Someone has to be more responsible for something. Just like when your ladies want to argue about leadership, like who leads in a relationship. Should it be the man? Should it be the woman? And the funny thing is, I always notice is that y'all want to lead, but y'all don't really like it. You don't want to do what it takes to truly lead. Ultimately, you end up wanting the guy to do all the thinking and all the hard work and all the leading stuff. So let's keep it that way. Let's keep the main thing is what works, right? Females are responsible for sex, guys are responsible for relationships. Let's be logical about it, right? Let the people who are good at what they're supposed to be good at it, right? If you're with a guy who's selfish and not selfless, right? Well, that's not going to work out, right? If he's selfish, it's better for him to be selfless, but you know, you gotta make sure you're balancing him out, right, by being a little selfish, right? Which means if he's giving you stuff, right, he's doing stuff for you, appreciate it. Is what I'm trying to say. Don't be the type to be like, oh no, you don't gotta do this for me. Oh, I can do it myself. I can do it myself. Don't open doors for me. Oh, don't fix things for me. You know, that's a contradiction. He's selfless. He has to do things for others. And for you to deny him to do things for you, to be selfless, you're denying him what he's supposed to be or who he is, right? It's like if somebody's nice and they give compliments and you're complaining that they do, you're denying them who they are. So don't, right? If you want to be with a guy who, you know, is an asshole to you, then that's fine. You be with a guy who's an asshole. But if you want a guy who's nice to you, then be with a guy who's nice to you. It's just logical. So the same thing is like, you want a good relationship, a relationship that lasts long, pick a guy that's good at relationships and has long lasting relationships who will make sure the relationship lasts long. Don't date a guy who only wants to hit it and quit it, who only wants one night stands, who only wants to have sex with you in the bathroom of the club and then walk away and do the same with another chick. Stop doing that, right? It's logical to pick that which you need, right? If you want someone who's nice, pick something. Be with somebody who's nice. You want somebody who's, tall, be with somebody who's tall, right? Logical. A lot of y'all ladies will talk about what y'all want, but always do the opposite. I want a guy who's 6 feet, but always messing with guys who are like 5'8", and then complain. It's like, well, you should have just only dated guys who are 6 feet. The fact that you're randomly dating guys who are not what you want is creating the problem, right? Just like y'all say you want a guy who's emotional, and y'all been with guys who are emotional, but those relationships don't work. You immediately don't want to be with them. It's like, this is why guys out here say, oh, the female gender don't know what they want. Because y'all say one thing and do the opposite. Oh, I want a nice guy, but you don't date the nice guy. I want someone who respects me, but don't date the guy who respects you. And the list goes on. So that's the thing. The things y'all complain about are the things y'all created. Y'all chose those things, and then y'all complain. If anything, it looks like y'all like the wrong choice. Y'all like making the wrong choice and then complain about it, which leads to the whole chicks like drama. So instead of picking a good guy that they will never have problems with, they pick the guy they will always have problems with because they need that. Apparently, that's something they want. They crave that nonsense, the contradictions, right? The arguments and stuff. All right, teach their own. You want to be with a guy you're going to constantly complain about? Fine, you do you. But logically, to be a smart person, be with somebody that makes sense to be with. You like good people. You like to be with somebody who's nice. Be with somebody who's nice. You know, but like I said, guys are responsible for relationships. So let them be responsible for relationships, which means they're the ones in charge of the relationship. They're the ones who are leading. It's like being in a car. He's driving. You're the passenger. Let him drive. Stop trying to tell him how to drive. He's the driver. He drives. He knows what he's doing, right? As an example. So if you're in a relationship with somebody, understand they're the ones responsible for it. So let them be responsible for it. Stop trying to, you know, backseat drive, basically, right? Stop trying to change, stop trying to prevent them from doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is making sure the relationship works. Because when you have to think of it logically, when you get with a guy, his life is in a certain way. He built his life in a certain way. He has certain rules, certain schedules, things that he has to do in a certain order, which is why he had, because that's his life. If you want to come into his life, you have to be willing to be part of it and follow the rules of his life, the path that he's going. You can't be trying to tell him to do the opposite of what he's been doing. If every decision he made in his life is creating good outcomes, it makes no sense for you to come into his life and then try to derail all that, to tell him, no, do things differently. No, because everything he's doing is working. So why would you tell him to do the opposite? Because the opposite of things that work is things that don't work. And that's why your relationships, ladies, don't be working out. Because y'all too busy trying to bring your life, your rules, your way of doing things into his way of doing things, and then that just messes everything up. Y'all trying to merge your way of living, your way of thinking, and it doesn't work that way. Ladies are emotional, guys are less emotional. So for you to come into a relationship and be like, oh, you need to be more emotional, you need to be like me. I make decisions based off of my emotion. You should do it too. Like, no, that's what you do. And it's fine that you make decisions based off of your emotions. That's fine for you. But for you to push it on him and like, oh no, my man has to be emotional too. No, he does not. He has to be who he is. And who he is less emotional, more logical. So let him be who he is. It's kind of ironic. A lot of you ladies will be talking about, oh, he needs to accept me, for who I am. I need him to love me for who I am. We are more than happy to do so. The problem is when y'all don't accept us for who we are. You don't love us for who we are. You keep trying to change us. The thing is guys don't expect women to change, but women always expect men to change. What I mean by that, in modern day times, women want men to change, and females want men, guys to change, and guys don't want the female to change, right? Because if we like you a certain way, we will always like you that way. So if you change, that's going to create a problem. But you ladies, you meet us, you like the way we are for a while, but then after a while, you want us to change. You're like, oh man, this is getting boring. You eat peanut butter sandwich every day. That's boring. Why don't you change it up? No, it works fine for him. That's what he wants. He wants to eat peanut butter sandwiches every day for the rest of his life until the day he dies. That is fine. Why? Just because you don't like to do that every day doesn't mean somebody else doesn't. And it's wrong for you to want him to stop doing what works for him. If it works for him, it works for him. You know, I'm not against the idea of suggesting he tries something different. It's another thing to make it a big deal if he doesn't change. And then from what I've seen, even when a guy does change, it always ruins the relationship, right? Because now he's different. And it's like, damn, he actually changed. You know what? I actually don't like these changes. Damn, that's crazy. Because if you insisted on the changes, then the changes happen. Now you don't like the changes. More reason why you shouldn't be. It's the whole don't be careful what you wish for because you might just get it, and you might also regret it. And that's the thing. So, just think before you act, ladies. Plan ahead. This is what we as guys do. We plan ahead. We already know what we expect from a woman, like what our ideal woman would be, and we expect her to be that way all the time. So if my ideal woman, has red hair and green eyes, and I date a chick with red hair and green eyes, I expect her to always have red hair and green eyes. If suddenly she becomes a blonde, and it's like, oh damn, what the hell happened? It would be a problem. I already made a decision a long time ago what I want, and I got what I wanted. But then once that thing changes, then it becomes a problem. It's like, well, damn, I no longer have what I want. Ladies always want something new, which creates a problem because it's like you get in a relationship, but then you want a new one with someone else, and then you want a new one, a new one. So then the guy you're with has to try to be new, right? So he has to try to change. It's like, yeah, you're a millionaire. I'm getting bored of that. It's like, damn, so now you want me to become what, a billionaire? So that way you don't leave me? That's extreme. Why can't it be like you like me as is? Why do I gotta keep changing? Just because that's how you think, that's how you feel. You feel that things should always change. We accept that chaos, that constantly wanting to change all the time. This is why ladies want to change the whole, being a wife thing to being independent. But then now y'all trying to come back to being a wife thing again, right? So you're flip flopping. You're not being consistent. Guys are consistent. Ladies are not as consistent. Y'all inconsistent, and that creates problems. But we guys, are used to it, so we try to make the most of it.